It seems like you had a lot to get over today.
Straw recap. Today we're recapping Straw. Tyler Perry's new film Straw follows the harrowing journey of Janiyah, a young, exhausted single mother struggling to make ends meet while caring for her sick daughter, Arya. From the very start, the movie immerses us in Janiyah's harsh reality: poverty, unpaid bills, and constant hardship. One morning, while preparing Arya for school, Arya excitedly shows her mother a blinking science project she's been working on. But that brief moment of joy is cut short by Arya's complaints about school. She confides in her mother that her teacher publicly embarrassed her for not having the $40 required for school lunch. Crushed by guilt, Janiyah promises she'll get the money that day. On their way out, despite her own dire situation, Janiyah gives her last bit of money to a homeless man named Ben. Shortly after, their landlord threatens eviction over unpaid rent, and once again, Janiyah makes another desperate promise to pay up soon. At her job in a large supermarket, Janiyah faces further humiliation. A hostile customer explodes over WIC restrictions, shattering a glass container beside her. Later, a sympathetic coworker quietly offers Janiyah some money for Arya's medication, but Janiyah refuses, insisting she'll manage somehow. Things quickly spiral further out of control. Janiyah receives a call from Arya's school and rushes over, only to find Child Protective Services removing Arya from school custody. The teacher claims Arya is often hungry, unclean, and covered in bruises. Janiyah tries to explain that the bruises are from Arya's seizures and medical complications, but her pleas fall on deaf ears. As Arya is taken away, she cries out for her mother. Desperate to make things right, Janiyah runs to the bank to try to get money for Arya's lunch and medication, only to discover her account is already at a minimum limit. More bad luck follows. On her way back, she accidentally bumps into another car. The driver, a cop, becomes aggressive and calls for backup. When another officer arrives, they find that Janiyah's license and registration are expired, resulting in hefty fines she cannot afford. Completely drained and drenched in rain, Janiyah returns to work only to be scolded and then fired by her unsympathetic supervisor. She pleads for her final paycheck, but he refuses, saying it will be mailed. Returning home, she finds all her and Arya's belongings thrown into the street by the landlord. With Arya's blinking science project in hand, mocked by her landlady, Janiyah collapses into tears. Out of options, Janiyah returns to her workplace to demand her paycheck. While arguing with her supervisor, two men barge in to rob the store. One of them calls Janiyah by name after reading her name tag, making her seem complicit. In a struggle, she grabs one of the guns and shoots one of the robbers while the other flees. Instead of gratitude, her supervisor accuses her of orchestrating the robbery and calls the police. Overwhelmed by it all, Janiyah snaps and shoots her supervisor, then takes her paycheck and heads to the bank. Now at Benevolent Bank, Janiyah tries to cash her $521 paycheck. She's met by a familiar face, Tessa, the cashier, but bank protocol prevents Tessa from helping without a valid ID. Frustrated beyond measure, Janiyah pulls a gun. Nicole, the bank manager, gets involved. Spotting Arya's blinking science project in Janiyah's bag, Nicole reports to authorities that there may be a bomb in the building. Meanwhile, Tessa tries to give Janiyah extra cash, but Janiyah only wants what's on her paycheck. Tension rises. A stubborn bank customer attacks Janiyah, causing her gun to fire accidentally. The news quickly picks up the story, and live streams from inside the bank go viral. Detective K. Raymond is brought in to handle negotiations. In tears, Janiyah explains her motives. She only wanted money for Arya's school lunch to prevent her from being teased again. "Nobody listens to me," she sobs. Raymond gently assures her that she's listening now, but Janiyah is too paranoid to believe it. Despite her distress, Janiyah shows compassion, offering chairs to elderly customers and helping those in need. The live stream sparks nationwide sympathy, with protests erupting outside in support of Janiyah. As Janiyah recounts her heartbreaking story to Raymond, she reveals how society failed her, how she was pressured to abort Arya, her ongoing struggles with Arya's seizures, and the relentless obstacles stacked against her. She even pleads with Nicole to look after Arya when she's gone. Outside, Raymond confronts and arrests the corrupt officer Oliver, the cop who had earlier run Janiyah off the road and threatened her life. She brings proof of the arrest to Janiyah, trying to build trust with her. As tensions escalate with the FBI preparing to storm the bank, Raymond makes a bold move by physically handing Janiyah a phone showing Oliver's arrest photo. This finally convinces her to surrender. Nicole promises to walk out with her and to take care of Arya. But just before stepping out, Janiyah receives a devastating call from her estranged mother. While scolding her for robbing a bank, her mother delivers the crushing news. Arya had died the day before from a seizure. Everything we've seen comes into question. The flashbacks reveal the truth. Janiyah had been alone from the very start. She had prepared breakfast and run the bath for no one. There had been nobody dropped off at school. The call she'd received was not from Arya's school, but from debt collectors. Arya was already gone. Nicole quietly reveals that she knew earlier, but wanted to protect Janiyah's fragile state. The weight of grief breaks Janiyah's mind completely, blurring reality with hallucinations of police storming the bank. But in the end, what actually happens is far more peaceful. Janiyah walks out of the bank with Nicole by her side, Nicole whispering to her, "You're not alone." Outside, the public cheers for Janiyah, not as a criminal, but as a tragic symbol of a system that continues to fail its most vulnerable. If you like this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Jahaheb for more. Until next time.